It is that time to rank season 3 of Doctor Who and NuWho. Listen, I have earned my stripes as a Whovian. I'm a card-carrying member, so this list is legit. This is the list, the ultimate list. These tier list rankings, take it as law because I know what I'm talking about. And if you want to fight me in the comments. And Stephen Muffin, I know you're watching, and I know you have things to say. Actually, this is Russell T. Davis, showrunner. But Muffin was there, a big part of the season. Listen, season 3 is arguably one of the most iconic seasons of the show. There are some iconic episodes here that will always be remembered, that have birthed so much history and so much lore and so many reiterations of characters and villains and things. So there's a lot to talk about here and do here. Let's go. Let's go. So we have our tiers: Legendary, Fantastic, Domestic, Lost in the Vortex, Exterminate, right? So these are our S, A, B, C, D. You know what it is. Let me reiterate. Legendary is God tier. That is the S tier of this. That is the you were just more than amazing, more than bombastic, untouchable. Don't try it. Fantastic is everything was great. It was a really good episode. It's just missing something, some secret sauce to get it to the God tier. Some iconicry, right? Iconicry. Domestic is our it's okay. It's good. We're not losing sleep. We're not, fighting in the comments. We're not, doing the most. But it was fine. Lost in the Vortex, we literally came out from the TARDIS and we're spinning around. Like, what? What's happening, right? We did not land the story. We're trying to get somewhere and we did not reach, so failure to launch or failure to land, one of the two. Exterminate, you know what it is. Listen, just leave it in the drafts. First up is the Runaway Bride. So I'm counting this as season 3, 00, right? This is the first. As a special, this is the introduction of Donna. I mean, look at these thumbnails that I chose. Okay, these are my thumbnail choices from the episodes, if you remember. But Donna, the introduction of Donna, so good. This episode, of course, was the beginning of my love for Catherine Tate as Donna and that relationship between her and Ten. All of that. It was quite the special. I think this is one of the specials up there in terms of the development of characters we've come to love over time, and storylines to continue. The whole Rachnos thing. I had some issues with the Rachnos. This is a Rachnos story, right? Was this Rachnos? Oh, was that? Was this the Rachnos, the Runaway Bride? Yes, the Rachnos. Yeah. Because she stopped him at the end. So I'm going to be trying to remember some of these. So there was Arachnos and the Doctor going to that really, kind of out there moment when he was like, destroy, and Donna had to be like, what is going on here? Who are you? And that fear, all that experience was what sort of like, it was not favorable enough for her to stay on and be a companion. So there was a lot going on. I didn't care for some parts of the Arachnos mother interpretation. It was very there was something about it that was very Rita Repulsa, Power Rangers kind of moment for me, which is a little bit too camp, where it was too caricature of the character. Was distracting a bit. I think I remember that. But overall, it was really carried by that relationship, which eventually came back to the partners in crime, right? So this episode was really good. I'm not going to call this domestic. This was fantastic. And I'm also going to put these in order as well. I didn't do that last time. In order of the tiers within each tier. Next up, Smith and Jones. Introduction again of Martha Jones as the new companion. Martha Jones, a one-season companion. Okay, no. So Martha was fantastic. And, Smith and Jones as an introductory episode was with the moon and with what was the villain again? That blood-sucking character, I forget her name now, which was just, the story itself was kind of okay. I think the parts that I latched onto was obviously knowing that this was a new companion coming in. So there was a little bit of an energy to that of like, observing everything that the Doctor was observing about Martha and their relationship. There were some cute moments there, and them on the moon, and of course the Jadoon coming out. I think this is the first time I met the Jadoon, and that was a big moment with their get up and everything. So the costuming there and everything in that regard was really, really cool. The moon disappearing and them coming back, Martha's introduction, her family, on all of that. So that part was really cool. And the ending here, even with the ending shot here of the induction, ceremony of the companion, was really cute. I'm going to say Smith and Juice was domestic. I think it was okay. It wasn't like fantastic, but it was cute. The Shakespeare Code. Now, this episode, I don't know if the fans love it or care for it. I thought I enjoyed the witchy aspects of this. It was kind of fun, the Shakespeare part too was nice, and I just remember them kind of running around, the witches doing their thing, and then I name you Carrionites. That was cute. It was fun. It was a fun episode. It was witchy. It was foolish. It was silly. It was Shakespeare doing his thing. The ending part with the songs and all of the banishment and ha 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 ha. It was to me, it was domestic. It wasn't. I don't think it was lost in the vortex. I enjoyed it for what it was and what it stood for here as their sort of first official mission after them coming together. So I'm gonna have this as domestic. Yes, behind Smith and Juice, of course. Gridlock. Now, come on. Gridlock. This is where we started to be like, oh, season 3, are you going to do this to us? Gridlock was a really, really interesting episode. I remember, of course, the setting with all the cars, the traffic, the gridlock of it, them actually being in a gridlock, not just as a term. And seeing that, just that the scale of it, all of them being there, them singing that song, and all them, the whole chase sequence through the cars was a really cool moment too. And them running and the little the patches, this that gives you different emotions. I remember that this was New York, which we eventually returned to, right? Or this was us returning to New York, sorry. We had already come there with Rose. So it was as a continuation of this story. And of course, we had the face of Bo coming in. Of course, you see that thumbnail and the death of the face of Bo, right? It happened here? Yes. Yeah, because New York was the first time we had that moment. So it was a continuation. And then we eventually find out what the face of Bo. Was it the end of the season that we find out? Or was it? I think it was. It was at the end of this season, right? Yo, what a reveal. Come on. Stop this. Gridlock was amazing. I love the confrontation between Martha and the Doctor here. This is where she sat down and she sat down and said, I'm not going to stand up until you tell me what you need to tell me, which was a beautiful companion Doctor moment. This episode, I'm going to call it fantastic. Before Runaway Bride, definitely, for sure. Daleks in Manhattan and Evolution of the Daleks, the two-part. This is the first two-part of the season. We're here with this Dalek story. Daleks are back again. How many times had they come back at this point? A lot. So this was the point where I'm like, here we go. So Daleks in Manhattan. I think there was supposed to be there was something about it being spoiled or not being spoiled or something with the title. I think this was the episode where the Dalek title came before the Dalek appeared, I think, or something. So you find out in the title. I don't remember if I closed my eyes or not, but yeah, I remember that being a thing. They had to put Daleks there to say, watch. So it was an ambitious story. Like it's starting off and the elevator thing and them going to the rooftop and everything starting out. Andrew Garfield was here in this story, New York. This was a different setting for them. I think, honestly, the two episodes, I think they were trying to do something here. It was there was an idea that something was gonna make sense. It was pointing us in the direction of as I said, evolution of the Daleks or whatever, and thinking about the Daleks in a different way. But this did not land, and for that reason, lost in the vortex. I think evolution of the Daleks, the second part of it, with the pig guy and all of that. I remember there was this story that was like that time in New York City, which I think they portrayed well. It felt like that, you know what I mean? them being on the rooftop and the doctor being shocked, the electrocution. The really good moment though was him standing on the chairs, standing out there and being like this, and then them not deciding to like shoot him, and then they shot the Daleks, and that whole scuffle happened. That was a really good moment. This was also the moment of with Dalek Khan, right? He appealed to Dalek Khan to stay back, was it not that? And Dalek Khan didn't. This was the Cult of Skaro introduction as well. There was so much going on here, but again, it just didn't land. It just didn't land. I think it was okay for what it was, but too ambitious. Daleks were coming back again, so we had a tall order to give us something new and fresh, which they tried to do with the hybrid, but it just went nowhere. I think it just went nowhere. So, Evolution and Daleks in Manhattan. I'm going to put, which was strong, I'm going to put Evolution before the Daleks in Manhattan, as that's where things started to pick up. And of course, we had that theater moment with them. Now, the Lazarus Experiment. Mark Gatiss, of course, his face is right here. Look, he looks so good here. It's like, forever! He must have loved being in that episode. I mean, he writes for Doctor Who, so he got to act here, which is fun. The thing with Doctor Who is that once you show up in one episode, it's hard to show up again as something else. Right? Except they're doing a bit, so you kind of have your one Doctor Who moment, and this was his for the acting side. The Lazarus Experiment was. I just remember it being the whole big chase with the whole huge blob thing at the end there. And then, the whole thing, living forever. It was also, I don't know. I don't think it hit for me. It didn't hit. I'm trying to remember it now. And I'm like, it's kind of bits and pieces here. I know Martha's family was involved here a lot more. This was when we started getting a little bit of bringing in her mom and her family and that whole discourse. I think this was where Mama Martha slapped the doctor, and that whole kind of intrigue began. But for the most part, I think we can lose this episode, and the season would be like, if we lose this episode, would the season be better for it, or would something be lost? I think we can lose this episode. So sadly, this is going to be our first exterminate. Sorry, Mark Gatiss. I don't think he wrote the episode. It's just, yeah. Anyways, 42, which is the name that I can never remember. What was the name of the episode? I should have done a bit where I just didn't have the name here. I could not remember the name of this episode for the life of me. It was just like 42. I don't think it should have been called 42. I just don't think 42 was it big enough. I know it was 42 minutes till the planet explodes, but it just didn't feature. It was just 42 for one moment. Like, it wasn't like 42 kept on being reminded to us. It was 42, 41, 40. Like, it's a countdown, So you can't say that is the number, as if that number featured at all. Like, they didn't need to unlock 42 doors or do 42 things. There wasn't a running theme with 42, so why make it 42? Call it something solar or sun, So that already, I'm docking points, because name matters to me. Yes, it does. But this is again one of our space exploration, spaceship, what do you call it? Cast and crew, big crew moment. We've had this Waters of Mars. We had these episodes, and people either get snatched one by one, or something is going on. We're trying to figure it out. So, but this is an earlier version of that, right? But I thought it was okay. I enjoyed it. I loved the doctor getting the soul, the thing in his eyes. I used that in one of my sequences. It was really fun. It was really cool visually. Martha had a moment with one of the guys here. She got to bond a little bit, which she did too in Gridlock. So that was really cute. But on a whole, it was a lot of kind of running around helter-skelter, just kind of making it work. I'm going to give this domestic. And I'm actually going to put this behind Shakespeare Code. No. I'm gonna put it in between Smith and Jones and 42. Do I really think Smith and Jones is better than 42? Yeah, it was. Martha was great there. Yeah. Okay. Now we're getting serious. This is the second half of the season. This is the stretch of this. This is the stretch of 2 episodes to the end that will always be remembered. The iconography. Okay. what is that word I'm trying to say that has icon? Iconism? Anyways, human nature. Okay, now if you one of the ones I remember, human nature was a rough episode for me. I just this was one of the ones where I started to think this was a Moffat two-parter, which we've had a Moffat two-parter in season 2, right? I forget now. But this was one of the Moffat two-parters where I was just like scratching my head, like, what are we doing? What is the point of this episode? I just didn't understand. It was just like Martha, was subjugated. The doctor was lost, in his own mind, and just so much was going on. The whatever circuit, not chameleon circuit. What's the thing? The watch. What's it called? I don't know. I forgot the name now. But the thing, he activated it, right? So his memories were gone, and the matron and the school and what they were trying to do there, with the war, all of it. For me, the human nature really needed the family of blood to like, you needed to really sit with it and wait for the second part of this for it to hit you. And I think together they're strong. Human nature on its own, cute, sure, but a little bit scratching head, very Muffety two-parter. So I'm going to go ahead and give human nature on its own. I'm going to put it... people are going to be mad at me, but I'm going to put human nature on its own as domestic. I'm going to put human nature as the first domestic. I was like, what's happening? I don't know what's happening here. It was just like him at school teaching. And then I was like, no one knows what's going on. I know you have to consider the two-parter, but we're doing episode by episode here. The family of blood. Now this was really, really, really good. Honestly, this might seem wild to people to differentiate them in this way. But I'm going to go ahead and put this as our first legendary of the season. I think just the moment where the doctor, that moment at the very end there, where the doctor is in the barn and him and the matron, and they have the memory flash of the possibility of them, of the future of them, when he's, him having this life, that moment where he can choose to go forward with this, or to keep forgetting to be this person, to be John Smith, and just leave that behind, or to get back, become the doctor who he is again, and keep struggling. But that was such, that barn, the whole barn sequence there, or farmhouse sequence there, was just so strong. The family coming in, him dispatching them, showing us all the ways that he just like gave us the oncoming storm. Basically, it was scary. This was one of the first times seeing the doctor be that way, just basically just coming back and just like ending things. Like, it's done. That energy of the doctor was scary. It was done so well. Finalizing the whole thing, his relationship with the kid who was with the boy who helped him with the watch, all of that stuff. How the watch was kind of woven through the episode to the and his memories coming back to him resisting that. His relationship with the matron. Oh my God, Martha's fight with the matron, which I edited. Yes, that clap back. Martha getting her agency back. Martha saying, enough of this charade we're playing. We need to get to it. She couldn't hold back anymore. And she said, enough. I am a doctor. I know this stuff, Do not talk to me this way. So all of that was really cool. It's an iconic episode. The villains were iconic. The whole standoff was iconic. It was a historical moment to it too, with the war and the boy and the ending, the TARDIS, all of that at the end just came together. Family of Blood is legendary. Human nature, fight me. Stop, because we are at Blink. Where were you when you watched Blink? NuWho Blink. I mean, even this thumbnail you see here is iconic. Is my iconic thumbnail of the season. Just that moment. I remember that the Weeping Angel seeing that in the episode, just like and literally having the jump scare moment of the first time you see the Weeping Angel move and notice that it has moved. Just like Moffat really played with us with that one. Moffat sat down and said, I'm going to write this story. This was a Dr. Light, Companion Light episode. This was a risky move at the time to do it this way. People were watching this episode not sure what to expect there. Carey Mulligan I don't think Carey Mulligan was that well known to be able to say like she's going to go and carry the whole episode and people are going to watch because of her. But she did such an amazing job being the focal point here, and then having the villains just step into the light. Not literally, but the villain step into the light, and the villain, the writing of this Weeping Angels as a villain was risky too from Moffat. It was risky all around. You hide your companion or your doctor for most of the episode. You bring a new character in. You bring a new villain in that you don't really get to see moving or doing anything, and just like, kind of stop motion-y sort of effect. It's crazy. But the risk paid off. No risk, no reward. The risk paid off from Moffat's vision on this. And that is why Blink is remembered through time. And I think people know Blink as the episode to show people or to talk to people to say, hey, watch this show that I love. It's Blink, right? For all of those reasons. Just everything, the timey-wimey of it all, the fact that the Weeping Angels could take your essence of your history. It wasn't like a thing where they just killed you, which would just be, okay, they killed you. They can move really scary, but they also just kill you when they get to you, which we've seen. There's more to it there in future episodes. But the history thing, the potential that they take from you was such an interesting thing for a villainous entity to do. It makes it more interesting, right? Like, it's not just that they kill. Why? What else can they do? What else could they do? What else could they feed on, right? So that was a really, really nice, smart writing there from Moffat, and also just the direction of the episode and how everything was just sort of like the momentum of it getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, crescendo, until it got to the point where it was like, this is it. It was just so beautifully done. The relationships there with Carey Mulligan's character and the other guy, and then at the end there, what's it called again? The bookstore, the video store, something and something, Sparrow and something and Sparrow. Beautiful. And the girl that we lost at the beginning too, when they snatched her. This is when the snatching started. Snatched. Okay, Blink is legendary, and it's number one right there for now, for sure. Stop it. Utopia. Oh Lord. Yana, Derek Jacobi. Listen, I didn't even know who Derek Jacobi was. I know obviously now, like, he's someone of note and respected actor, but you didn't even need to know who he was to feel the gravitas that he brought to the screen as Yana in that episode. Yana and Chanto. Listen, just that whole them coming to the end of the universe and all of that stuff with Jack, the Doctor, Martha, this trip. As soon as you see Jack Harkness in there, you know it's going to be something interesting, right? Something different. And we're getting toward the end of the season here. So this was the beginning of it. Yana, the mystery of Yana, him having these things where his memories coming back slowly. You're like, who is this? Who is this? This is weird. What is he remembering? What is happening? And then that moment with the watch, the reveal of the watch. Was it like an alien? I forget now the name of it. And Martha running back, Jack, the Doctor being like, who is that? What Time Lord is that? A Time Lord. The Time Lord of all. Take the power. Take the back. I'm just... That undercutting, that sequence. Oh, Lord. I remember that so well. I remember how I felt during that. And it was long, too. They stretched that out a long time. Like, you were begging just to get the revelation of who this person was. You were like, give it to us. And then they hit the Master. And if you had no idea who the Master is from Classic or whatever, I still don't know. All I know is NuWho for the Master's purposes. And don't tell me, even if the Master's not there. Like, no, you will never see him. Don't spoil it. But the Master came in grand fashion. It was literally one of the best reveals of the show. It was just so good. And immediately you knew this was somebody to watch. You knew this was somebody that was going to cause trouble. And the acting there from this actor who became the younger Master was just how just wild and manic he was, and you were just ready to go. He's ready to cause chaos. Done so well. Utopia was an amazing episode. Utopia was legendary episode, 100%. I'm gonna put it behind Blink. Okay, the sound of drums. The sound of drums. Now, this is the realization of the Master. This is them coming back and realizing that what's his name again? James. Not the Master's name, but the politician's name is called what? frig, I can't remember. I don't know names. But yes, remembering that he just came to me right now. It just came to me so quickly I left. Master J. Was it not an M or was it? No. Okay, the politician. Them putting it together that it was him the whole time. I'm trying to remember. And he was the one the whole time during the season. Them like basically the writing of that was tying it back to, yes, we know who this character is. We know he's been running for prime minister. We know, like, you know, he's been in the conversation the whole time. But the Master had gone back with the TARDIS and made all this happen. So that was a good tie off into the whole thing. You know, this was just him, this character, this actor playing and having fun with being in this body. You know, that whole energy of the Doctor being in a new body for the first time and having that first episode of him running around, that was this episode for the Master, and he fully lived in it. He was just going wild. He had changed so much. Lucy was there, right? Lucy, the whole sequence of him there with her, all of that. It was very disturbing, very just like, what are we doing? What is this going to be? How is the Doctor going to stop this kind of person? That was the sound of drums. We got the Gallifrey sequence here as well, which I lost my mind. At this point, Gallifrey was like, you know, so it was a really fun episode. It's not a legendary episode, but it is fantastic for sure. I'm going to put this sound of drums. I'm going to put this between Gridlock and the Runaway Bride. Now, last episode here, finale, last of the Time Lords. We have Martha here stepping into power and being the piece de resistance of this whole thing. The Doctor, the aged Doctor at the end of Sound of Drums, right? That was the old man. Well, not even old man at that point. Doctor, geriatric Doctor. Geriatric Doctor vibes. And then he, you know, was mostly taken out for the whole episode when we saw Martha's journey with the other Doctor guy from Lucifer. What's his name? Tom Ellis. And her making her way through, her doing what she needed to do to get people to have the Doctor's memory or mind, you know, in their mind, to speak the words and everything like that. Listen, it was kind of like, looking back on it now, there was a level of what's that word I would use for it? It was indulgent, I guess, the word or whatever, of it being that brought the Doctor out to life and made him change and everything, is their belief in him, like worshiping him like a deity and stuff. Deity. I guess we'll see a little bit of that later. No, shooty season. But all of that stuff. So it was a little bit like, while I was watching it, it was fun to see the whole, like, you know, I love a good flashy sequence, like, ooh, transformation, ranged attack. I love those things. But looking back on the whole deification of the Doctor thing there, it was a little bit like, indulgent. You know what I mean? Maybe we could have found a better way to make him, usually he outsmarts his opponent in a more like tech way, or a more, you know, more like, oh, you forgot about this, or I did something with time, or I double crossed you somehow, you know what I mean? Versus it being just like, you know, people come together and chant or think or say. So that's I think where the episode did fail a little bit, but it was nice to see the whole sequence with Jack and Martha's family, and Martha coming in, and the Master doing his thing, and the whole world being, you know, forsaken and all of that stuff. I'm gonna put this, you know what it is, because of that reason, I'm gonna put this I'm torn between the end of Fantastic and the top of Domestic. I think as far as finales go, I think I'm going to put it at the end of Fantastic. I think, what's his name again? The Master's actor, he did such a good job with this. Like, every scene he's in, every episode he's in, it's just elevated because of the kind of threat that he poses, but in a way that's just very kind of like he ha ha in your face. You know what I mean? Very sort of childish behavior, but also very concerning behavior. All of that. And how smart and genius he is. There was so much there with it. So there was so many moments, and I'm forgetting some of them now, which I have to give this at the lowest end of Fantastic, but it's like, you know. Do I agree with that? Do I agree with that right now? Low end of Fantastic? Yeah, I'll leave it there. It's either that or top of Domestic. Listen, there you have it. There you have it. Yeah, we only had one exterminate this episode, and it was the Lazarus Experiment. So, this was not the season for exterminates. Like all of these episodes were super strong, and honestly, I stand behind enjoying them, especially at the time of this show where this was the moment where they needed to sort of start telling things differently, doing different types of stories with different aliens or different sort of imaginings. This was early on, but not early on enough to say like people hadn't gotten used to some of the tropes. I mean, early on, this is after Classic Who, by the way, early on. But early on in NuWho, for people who started there, we've seen the Daleks, we've seen Cybermen at this point, right? So we've seen some of these things that were like, okay, what else is there? And when you're introducing something like the Weeping Angels here and the Master coming back and just all of these things, just elevated Who to a point where I think season 4 going on, people were really very interested to see what came next. So I think this was a really, really strong season. So there we have it. What do you think? Do you disagree? I know you disagree, but you can't touch it. You can't touch the list. This list is now buried in stone and carved in stone, buried in stone, and it's now canon by a card carrying WHOVIAN. How dare you disagree? I'm just kidding. Disagree, please disagree. Oh Lord, well, I'll be back with more tier lists. This tier list is fun, and I like these tiers I've made now to support them. So I'll just be using this. I had to create this one too, because if you look on tier list to try and find the list for these, you'll see there's just possibility of spoilers there. So I'm like, I have to make my own list. But I'll be back with more. So watch out.